My boyfriend's sick mom has been calling me for money while he's at work. I started recording the calls. Turns out his dying mother is actually his very much alive ex-wife, and they've been scamming me for 8 months, asterisk, asterisk. I'm shaking as I write this. I just got off the phone with someone I thought was my boyfriend's dying mother, except she's not dying, she's not his mother, and I feel like the biggest idiot in Chicago. Original post. I, 31F, have been dating Ryan, 29M, for about a year and a half. We met at a Cubs game. I was there with work friends. He was there alone because his buddy bailed. We hit it off over old style and complaining about the bullpen. He seemed genuine, funny, and refreshingly normal after a string of dating app disasters. About 8 months ago, Ryan told me his mom had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I was devastated for him. He became emotional, talking about how she didn't have insurance and couldn't afford treatment. He showed me pictures of her, a sweet-looking woman in her 60s with graying hair and kind eyes. He said her name was Patricia and she lived in Rockford. Ryan started missing dates because he was driving up to see her. He'd come back exhausted and heartbroken, talking about how she was getting weaker. I offered to come with him, but he said she was too proud and didn't want to meet his girlfriend while she was looking so sick. Then Patricia started calling me directly. The first call came about 6 months ago. She sounded weak and tired, but so grateful that Ryan had found someone who cared about him. She apologized for taking up so much of his time and energy. I told her not to be ridiculous. Family comes first. Over the months, Patricia and I developed what I thought was a beautiful relationship. She'd call when Ryan was at work, and we'd talk for hours. She told me stories about Ryan as a kid, shared family recipes, and gradually started opening up about her financial struggles. The medical bills were crushing her. She was too proud to ask Ryan for help because he was already doing so much. Could I maybe help with just 1 or 2 payments? She'd pay me back when her disability came through. I sent her $500 through Venmo without hesitation. Then it was the electric bill, $200. Then groceries, $150. Then a copay for a specialist, $300. Each time, Patricia would cry and thank me, promising to pay me back. She'd send me pictures of medical bills and insurance denials. Everything looked legitimate. Ryan had no idea I was helping his mom. Patricia begged me not to tell him because he was already stressed enough. She said it would break his heart to know she was struggling financially on top of everything else. Over 6 months, I've sent Patricia nearly $8,000. I dipped into my emergency fund, sold some jewelry, even picked up extra freelance work. I didn't mind. This woman was going to be my future mother-in-law, and she was dying. Yesterday, something felt off about our call. Patricia sounded different, younger, less tired. When I mentioned it, she quickly said the new pain medication was helping, but my gut was nagging at me. I decided to do something I'd never done before. I recorded our call today using an app on my phone. I'm not sure why. Maybe I wanted to save her voice for Ryan after she's gone, or maybe something just felt wrong. During today's call, Patricia asked for $1,200 for a new treatment that insurance wouldn't cover. As she was explaining it, I heard something in the background that made my blood freeze. Ryan's laugh. His very distinctive, loud laugh that I'd recognize anywhere. I asked Patricia about it. She said the TV was on and it must have been a commercial. But I knew that laugh. And more importantly, Ryan was supposed to be at work. His office is downtown, nowhere near Rockford. After we hung up, I played back the recording. In the background, clear as day, I could hear Ryan talking to someone about ordering Thai food, the same Thai place we order from all the time, which has a very specific way of answering their phone. Patricia wasn't in Rockford. She was in Chicago, probably in Ryan's apartment. I called in sick to work and drove to Ryan's place. His car was in the parking lot along with a silver Honda I didn't recognize. I sat there for 2 hours trying to make sense of what I was thinking. Then I saw them. Ryan and a woman who looked nothing like the pictures he'd shown me of his mother. This woman was maybe 35, blonde, clearly healthy. They were laughing and carrying shopping bags from Whole Foods, expensive shopping bags. I followed them from a distance as they went into his building. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone. I called Patricia from the parking lot. The woman with Ryan answered on the second ring, using the same weak, tired voice I'd grown to love over the past 8 months. "Hello, sweetheart," she said. "How are you today?" I hung up and threw up in the parking lot. I don't know who this woman is. I don't know if Ryan's mom is even sick or if she exists at all. I don't know how long they've been running this scam on me. All I know is that I've been emotionally and financially manipulated by someone I trusted completely. I'm sitting in my car outside his building trying to figure out what to do. Do I confront them? Do I call the police? Do I just disappear and count this as an expensive lesson? I feel like such an idiot. How did I fall for this? How did I not see the signs? Update 1, 2 days later. I can't believe how much support you all have given me. Reading your comments gave me the courage to act instead of just hiding in shame. I didn't confront them immediately. Instead, I went home and did some detective work. I reverse searched the phone number Patricia had been calling me from. It's registered to a Jessica Martinez in Pilsen, not Patricia from Rockford. I looked up Jessica Martinez on social media, found her Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. She's 34, works in customer service, and according to her relationship status, she's married to Ryan Thompson. My Ryan. They got married 2 years ago, 6 months before I met him. I've been dating a married man for a year and a half. His wife has been scamming me out of money while pretending to be his dying mother. I don't know which betrayal hurts more. I screenshot everything, every social media post, every Venmo transaction, every text message. I also found their wedding photos, the woman I knew as Patricia in a white dress kissing my boyfriend. Then I called a lawyer, the one who handled my lease dispute last year. She said this is definitely fraud and I should report it to the police immediately. She also said I might be able to recover the money through civil court. Yesterday, I filed a police report. The detective was sympathetic but not surprised. Apparently, romance scams involving fake sick relatives are more common than I thought. They're opening an investigation. I also sent Ryan a text. I know about Patricia. I know about Jessica. I know you're married. We need to talk. He called me within 5 minutes, panicking. Wanted to meet immediately to explain everything. I told him he could explain it to the police. But curiosity got the better of me. I agreed to meet him at a coffee shop in Lincoln Park, somewhere public with lots of witnesses. Ryan looked terrible. Unshaven, exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. He immediately started with the waterworks and excuses. According to him, Jessica is his ex-wife, not his current wife. They got divorced but never filed the paperwork because it was too expensive. He said Jessica was struggling financially and he felt guilty, so he agreed to help her scam rich women on dating apps. He swore I was supposed to be a short-term thing, but then he fell in love with me and couldn't figure out how to get out of the situation. I asked him about all the time he spent visiting his sick mother. He admitted he was with Jessica, planning their next moves and splitting the money I sent. The medical bills were fake, created using Photoshop and templates they found online. He begged me not to press charges. Said Jessica was desperate and had kids to feed. I looked, she doesn't have kids. He promised to pay me back every penny and said he'd do anything to make this right. I recorded this entire conversation on my phone. I told him I'd consider dropping the charges if he provided a full written confession and helped me recover all the money. He agreed immediately. What he doesn't know is that I'm not dropping anything. I just want his confession in writing for the police. Update 2, 1 week later. The police arrested both Ryan and Jessica yesterday. I have mixed feelings about it, but I know I did the right thing. Ryan's written confession was detailed and damning. He admitted to the fraud, explained how they created the fake documents, and revealed that I wasn't their first victim. They've been running this scam for over 2 years, targeting women on dating apps. I was just their longest running and most profitable mark. The confession also revealed some details that made me feel even more stupid. Ryan's real mom is alive and well, living in Florida. The pictures he showed me of Patricia were actually stock photos he found online. The stories about his childhood that Patricia told me, all made up. Jessica had been studying my social media and our conversations to create a believable character. She knew exactly what kind of mother figure would appeal to me based on my own family background and personality. When the police searched their apartment, they found files on at least 6 other women they'd scammed. One woman lost Ove, our $15,000. Another woman they'd convinced to take out a loan to help with Patricia's cancer treatment. The detective told me this is part of a larger investigation into organized romance fraud in the Chicago area. Ryan and Jessica were part of a network of scammers who shared techniques and victim information. I've been working with a therapist to process all of this. She says what happened to me is psychological abuse, not just financial fraud. The fake emotional connection with Patricia was designed to make me more vulnerable and willing to give money. My friends and family have been incredibly supportive, though I can see the pity in their eyes. My sister keeps saying things like, "You're too trusting," and "You always see the best in people," which I know she means well, but it makes me feel worse. The hardest part is grieving the relationship with Patricia. I genuinely loved that woman. I looked forward to her calls, treasured our conversations, and felt like I was gaining a mother figure I'd never had. Finding out she never existed feels like a death. Ryan has been trying to contact me through mutual friends. He's apparently telling people that Jessica manipulated him too, and that he's as much a victim as I am. Our mutual friend Jake told me Ryan seems genuinely remorseful and thinks I should consider forgiveness. I told Jake that Ryan can be remorseful in prison. Update 3 weeks later. The legal proceedings are moving forward, and I'm starting to see some light at the end of this tunnel. Ryan and Jessica were both charged with wire fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy. They're facing serious prison time. Ryan's lawyer approached mine about a plea deal where he'd testify against the larger fraud network in exchange for a reduced sentence. I told my lawyer I don't care what deal he makes as long as I get my money back. Speaking of money, I'm recovering more than I expected. The police froze their bank accounts and found most of the money I sent them. They'd been living off it but hadn't spent everything yet. I should get back about $6,500 of the $8,000 I lost. The other victims in their network have formed an informal support group. We meet for coffee every other week. It's helpful to talk to people who understand exactly what this kind of manipulation feels like. One woman, Sarah, was scammed by the same dying mother story. Another woman, Maria, thought she was helping Ryan's sick sister. What's interesting is that we all fit a similar profile: single women in our 30s, financially stable, with complicated relationships with our own families. The therapist I'm seeing says scammers are very good at identifying and exploiting these psychological vulnerabilities. I've also learned that the Patricia character was used on at least 4 different women. Jessica had the persona down to a science: the weak voice, the specific medical terminology, the guilt about being a burden. She'd even researched pancreatic cancer extensively so she could answer detailed questions about symptoms and treatments. Ryan tried to send me a letter through his lawyer. It was 6 pages of apologies and explanations. He claimed he never meant for it to go on so long, that he tried to break up with me multiple times but couldn't go through with it because he really did fall in love with me. I didn't finish reading it. I gave it to my therapist, who said it was a classic example of a manipulator trying to maintain control even after being caught. The strangest part of all this? I miss Patricia. I know she wasn't real, but the comfort I felt during our conversations was real. The advice she gave me, the stories she told, the way she made me feel like I had a caring mother figure, that emotional experience happened even if it was built on lies. My therapist says this is normal and that grieving fake relationships is part of the healing process. She's helped me understand that my capacity for love and trust isn't a weakness, even though it was exploited. I'm slowly starting to date again, but I'm much more cautious. I verify everything now. I've also joined a volunteer group that helps other fraud victims, which has been therapeutic. Final update 2 months later. Ryan was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Jessica got 2 years. They were ordered to pay restitution to all their victims, which means I'll eventually get back most of my money. The larger fraud network was broken up and several other people were arrested. The detective told me our case was crucial in exposing the whole operation. I've been in therapy for 3 months now, and it's helped tremendously. I'm learning to trust my instincts again and to set better boundaries in relationships. I'm also learning that being kind and trusting doesn't make me stupid, it makes me human. I started dating someone new last month. His name is David, and I met him through the volunteer group. He's also a fraud victim, which means he understands what I went through in a way that most people can't. We're taking things very slowly, but it feels healthy and honest in a way my relationship with Ryan never did. The weirdest closure came last week. I got a call from Ryan's actual mother in Florida. She'd found out about everything and wanted to apologize for her son's behavior. She's a lovely woman, nothing like the Patricia character, but genuinely kind and horrified by what Ryan did. She told me she'd raised him better than that, and she couldn't understand how he'd become capable of such cruelty. We talked for an hour, and it helped me separate the real person from the character Jessica had created. To everyone who followed this story and offered support, thank you. Your comments helped me realize that I wasn't stupid or naive. I was targeted by professionals who do this for a living. The shame belongs to them, not to me. To anyone who might be in a similar situation, trust your instincts. If something feels off, investigate. Don't be embarrassed to ask questions or verify information. And remember that being victimized doesn't make you weak. It makes you someone who is capable of love and trust, which are beautiful qualities that shouldn't be hidden away because of one terrible experience. I'm closing this chapter now. Ryan and Jessica are in prison. I'm in therapy. I'm in love with someone honest, and I'm helping other people avoid what happened to me. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well and refusing to let terrible people make you terrible too. And if anyone ever asks you for money to help their sick relative, ask to visit the hospital. Trust me on this one.